do not gamble. Everybody wants to know my number one piece of advice for gambling, and the first is don't gamble. When you're playing blackjack, for example, and you know how it's in that plastic shoe,
Right.
that thing has a motor in it that changes the order of the cards while they're dealing. So that way the dealer doesn't even have to be in on it. I did a couple episodes for him, and one of them I won $1 million for him on camera for his vlog.
You won him $1 million?
Yeah. I post all the videos I have of cards that you can see through, X-ray contact lenses.
Excuse me?
Truly, my favorite game is Pag-Out Poker.
Is that because the odds are the best?
It's the most fun game that you'll never lose at.
What do you mean
You'll also never win.
Really? You just stay even?
Every time.
Would these people come over and like gamble with you guys?
Yeah, of course. We gamble together. I beat my friend's dad so bad once, he wrote me a check.
Now, say I'm going into the casino. I want to win.
Mm-hmm.
What games do I avoid? What games do I play?
Your goal is to win, right?
Yeah.
You avoid all the carnival games. You know what that means?
Slots?
Yeah, avoid slots. Slots is for the old
Goes
ladies.
without saying.
Yeah,
Roulette? Roulette with numbers is like...
a single zero roulette, like you're okay, but it depends how you're betting. If you're just picking your favorite numbers or the numbers of you and your girl's birthdays, like you got
that's what I do.
Yeah, you got nothing going there. You know,
Yeah.
you're just hoping, you're just praying for luck.
And if you tip them, you think they could spin the ball so it lands in the thing?
I know they can.
No fucking way.
Let me give you an example. Ready?
The thing's going this way,
Yep.
counterclockwise, and the ball's going the
this
other way.
Yeah. All right, ready? Check this out. Pretend I'm Steph Curry, right? What do I do every day, all day, 6-7 days a week for my whole life? You ready?
Yeah.
Right? Now imagine for 30 years, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, I'm doing this.
Yeah, but sometimes Steph misses,
Sure,
you know?
of course.
But you
his
can aim
accuracy-
at that spot to where it's down to like 3-4 numbers. Like
Yeah,
a little-
of course. They gave me residencies in all these secret villas and all the casinos. So although I always had my place in LA throughout the pandemic, I just lived in the villas. I had 24-hour
Crazy
butlers.
suites.
They gave me a Maybach and a Rolls Royce. They gave me a private jet. Like, why would I not want to live in this villa?
So in order for them to be giving you, like, because everybody knows about comps, like I get free hotel rooms, basic standard level. You know, like I gamble maybe with a few grand in blackjack every time I go. So that will cover a room. They know they're going to get their room money back. But to give you private jets, to give you these extreme, extravagant things, you have to be playing an insane amount of money at every single casino. So what is it? You just have balls of fucking steel that you just want to just roll the dice every single day. You just want to fucking just leave it all on the line.
I am a degenerate gambler and I love to gamble.
I love gambling too, but I also fear hitting rock bottom.
Something that a lot of people can't relate to is some of the rock bottoms I've had, but I know you can. So imagine where your rock bottom used to be, right? And now you go to a casino. The best thing that can happen is you make all this money. The worst thing that can happen is you're still better than you used to be.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Wait, no, the worst thing that can happen is you could lose all...
Yeah.
But let's say you lost all your money. You're still better nowadays with $0 than you were at some time in your life. And a lot of people can't relate to that.
So you never gambled online? Like, what is your opinion on online gambling? Is it a scam every time?
Almost exclusively online gambling is a scam, except on Kirgo.com. And the only reason I can say that is they're the only casino that has ever allowed me and actively does allow me full access to all of their information. The back end, the software, the RTP, their P&Ls. I look at every single thing and they'll never stop me. I've asked for things that don't even matter just to know that they're willing to bend over backwards. And anytime I've asked any other casino, where I talk to the owners of every online casino in the world, they've offered me NBA money.
So much money, probably, yeah. Because I feel like if you say this is the good one,
the whole world's going to play on it.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. And they won't let you in at all.
None of them will let me look at what I want to look at.
So if there's like a live dealer cam, is it so easy for them to like just do their magic? Like
it is, but it goes beyond that. So usually there's like a few companies that offer. They're like an independent contractor. They go, hey, we have like staff that are dealers. They'll deal on the stream to your casino. Okay. But on the back end, they can adjust software however they want. And they don't have that 92 to 98% regulation like they do in the States. So they could do, 0% RTP if they wanted to.
Like slots seem like the easiest. Like that's crazy.
It seems the easiest because it's digital. And I don't trust real casinos in America, let alone foreign casinos online.
Yeah.
I think all casinos are a scam except for Kirgo.com because they let me look at all of that stuff.
Okay.
I probably, just like everyone else, would have fell victim to this mirage of a con that Las Vegas is. It was built to take advantage of your average working class person. And if I had been an average working class person, I don't see how I would not have been taken advantage of equally. And when I moved to LA, I'd go to Vegas weekly just to gamble and have a good time. And I started winning. I started winning a lot. Started winning often.
Why were you winning? Everyone goes to Vegas to lose.
Yeah, I mean, gambling's like been embedded in my blood for many generations. I grew up in New York City card rooms. I've been a gambler my whole life. My whole family has. And so I'd say I was always like slightly above average as a gambler. But in the beginning, I was just winning. I don't know. Maybe I was lucky. And the more I was winning, the more I thought I should pay attention to what I had going on. And I started buying in a little bigger, winning a little bigger, and really focusing all my energy on how to be a better gambler. I ended up figuring out that the casinos cheat. They cheat in ways that most people are unaware of. And I reversed their cheats, and I became one of Vegas's biggest winners of all time.
So that's how you did it. You figured out what they were doing behind people's backs, and you outdid them.
Yeah.
How long did that go on?
It took 3 years of gambling, specifically in Las Vegas, before I got banned from 95% of the casinos in the world.
How did they ban you?
It came in all different ways. Some of them made up crazy stories. Some of them told me outright. But they came in all ways. They would either confront me in person, they would call me over the phone, they would send me an email. A lot of casinos don't reach out to me and say, hey, don't come into our doors. They'll wait till I show up. It'll be the first time I ever came to that particular casino. And when I get there, I get met with security and they go, you're a sharp player, you're an advantage player, and we're not going to take your business.
That's illegal?
Yeah, it's a private company. They can do whatever they want, unfortunately. A little unfair or unjust in my opinion, but they might as well just have a sign that says only accepting losers.
How? Let's just okay. Focus on your two favorite games, Baccarat and Blackjack. Start with Baccarat. Putting down 300,000 a hand. My nipples are getting hard right now. I'm tingling.
Just for accuracy, I actually didn't take the deal to bet 300K a hand. I took the deal to bet 250K a hand. Just for accuracy of my reality.
Right. Yeah. Excuse me. A mere quarter rock a hand. A $250,000 a hand. Yeah. What in Baccarat? What was your tool? What was your advantage?
Well,
what did you do?
I figured out how they cheated and I reverse engineered it.
I have no idea what the that means. Explain.
So casinos deploy all these cheating tactics and they're endless and they're so far and beyond. And there's like a blanket they use to screw with Gen Pop, right? And most people fall victim to it. When me and my guys saw all of the tricks and a little bit of tools, we saw pretty quickly when we erased all the tricks, a lot of the typical methods of manipulating a patron in a casino also vanished. And we saw right through it. And now we're staring face to face and we go, they were trying to trick us with that? I can't believe we fell for it for the first year, And we go, okay, if they're going to trick us with that, what else are they going to trick us with? We started digging deeper and deeper. And as we got deeper into that on our own internally, and we also started getting deeper into the gambling community. There's a sharp community. You know what that means? Sharps. So gambling sharp is somebody who has an edge, right? They're guys that are backed off. Like there's a lot of sports sharps. There's 90%.
Sharps? I thought they were called sharks. Is that the same thing?
No. Kind of similar. Yeah, similar. It almost means the same thing.
Hang on though. Give me an example of one way that a casino would cheat an average person playing Baccarat.
I don't want to say.
Why not?
Well, I'm selling it for $50 million.
You're selling this as like a proprietary thing.
Yeah.
Who are you selling it to?
Whoever wants it.
Interesting. So you're kind of putting that out there right now. So if there's any whales listening, contact you.
Realistically, I think the casinos are going to try to pay me off to catch me if you can me. Wow. I think the casinos are going to pay me to tell them what it is exactly I figured out they did and how did I reverse engineer it. And they're going to try to prevent it from anyone else knowing.
Okay. So
that's what I think is really happening.
So this is like an active thing
Right now,
This
yeah.
is like, okay. So you essentially would take one of these ways that you would identify these ways that they would cheat normal people, and then you would just cheat them.
Yeah, it's like
using the same method.
Yeah, it's like this. I imagine me and you were playing poker together, and I knew you had an ace of spade in your sleeve, but you didn't know that I knew you had an ace of spade. That means every time there's an ace on the board, I know that you have a pair of aces, but you don't know that I know that. So when I have some random 7 deuce in my hand and the flop comes ace 7 deuce, you think your aces are the nuts. But the whole time I knew you had aces and I got 7 deuce and I take all your money.
Okay, so you're telling me allegedly that Vegas dealers have cards in their sleeves?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying.
It's much more sophisticated than that.
It's sophisticated, and 94% of the time, it's outside of the dealer. The dealer actually has no idea. They stay ignorant. They're uninformed of what's happening. Usually what's happening is the dealers are being used as a tool to cheat on behalf of the casinos that they're unaware of.
Okay.
And for many reasons, it's important the dealer is unaware that they're being used as a tool to cheat the player.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It was like the assassination of JFK. He was just a patsy.
Right.
Sorry, bad analogy. Anyways, who's in on it? Pit bosses? Pit bosses?
I think
it's
usually above the pit. So this is what I think. I think there's the higher up the ranks you go, the higher up involvement or awareness they have. So for example, let's say there are some dealers that are in on it, right? But let's say we're talking about the majority of dealers, like the kind of dealers that have social media, maybe they're young, will be watching this and comment. And I get this all the time. I'm a dealer and I definitely have never cheated. Yeah, we know, because they knew that you weren't capable of it.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make sure you're in the 94% of dealers that have no idea that you're being used as a pawn.
Yeah, you're making $30 an hour.
Yeah.
Nobody needs you.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need you to cheat. You're not the one, buddy. Right? So, what was your original question? Oh, how high up they are. Yeah. Okay. So those guys, the 94% of dealers, have zero knowledge, right? Zero pressure, zero understanding. They just think a guy's losing or a guy's winning, and they don't know the difference. They're like, I hope this guy wins, because if he wins, he's going to tip me. And the dealer probably truly thinks that and believes that. And they don't know anything else. Makes perfect sense.
Right.
So then there'll be, let's call it a first pit boss, right? And that first pit boss knows very, very little, except when a particular special player is there, that they need to keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any funny business, right? That pit boss is thinking, sometimes he wins big, sometimes he loses big. People have sleight of hand. Let me just keep an eye, right? Then there's a pit boss above that. And that pit boss was told, keep an eye on this pit boss and make sure that player stays at that table as long as possible. Now, they don't know why they want that player there. They're thinking standard. Oh, the longer they play, the longer they lose, the more they lose. Let's get them drunk. What they really need is some time to implement certain cheats created for that exact player. But that pit boss doesn't know that. That pit boss thinks my job is to keep the player here. Give them comps, make sure there's a waitress always here, make sure the food is coming fast enough. I was told, keep the player at the table. I'm going to keep him at the table.
Right.
You don't know why.
And this guy, this second pit boss, he's the one actually looking at the cameras now?
No, he'll be on the floor also.
Okay, so these guys are still on the floor. Who's above that second pit boss?
So then there comes another pit boss, right? And that next pit boss might be involved with the surveillance room. And from the surveillance room, they're keeping an eye on that player and maybe the player's entourage. What are they doing? Where are they going? How can we manipulate? How do we manipulate the whole group? How do we keep them long enough to implement a cheat we're trying to do? Are they catching on to one of the cheats? Have they, without even being conscious of it, figured out a way around the cheat? Because sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes there's very simple things they do that if you don't catch it, it'll take all your money. But if you catch it by pure, you just saw it, like you didn't think nothing of it, you make a slight adjustment in the way you play. They go, okay, they figured that one out. Time for the next one. Call upstairs. And they call the next guy.
Who is?
It'd be like a lower ranking executive, for example. You know? No, I'm not like sitting in the room next to these guys as they're doing
I
this.
realize that, but I'm trying to put together this conspiracy, like who's benefiting.
This is what I would,
what I mean?
When I picture in my imagination this chain of communication, I'm picturing 10 people from the very top down to the dealer. 10 in total. And it's in my imagination. I don't know if it's really 10. Could be 100, could be 5. I don't know.
Okay.
But it starts at a dealer who doesn't know anything and they're being used as a tool.